Zach and I went on record last week talking about how we felt about Brock Purdy and how there was actually better players on that 49ers team that deserved an MVP consideration over Brock Purdy. And the amount of hate that we got from 49ers fans was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Insane.
We didn't say
good. You guys literally said Brock Purdy, any quarterback can go play the position.
Yeah.
Wrong.
You did.
I said any top 15 quarterback could go.
You said middling quarterback.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'll stand
That's what
on
I
it.
said.
I'll stand on business.
Same.
Meant
Thank
everything.
you,
Meant every word of it.
Yeah. Same. And I still stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Pagano on the Pat McAfee show talked about this, and I thought had some really compelling things to say. If you don't think that I know ball, this guy certainly does. And here's what he had to say about Christian McCaffrey's bid for the MVP conversation.
Chatter for somebody that isn't a quarterback this season, and his name's Tyreek Hill. And obviously we saw how valuable he was to the Miami Dolphins whenever he was not playing on Monday night against the Tennessee Titans, even though he would go back in and play at a later time. And I think he's back in there. Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, had a little bit of a take on this entire thing and went to bat for one of his players, a player that they traded for, and immediately upon becoming a San Francisco 49er, became the focal point of a team that would have ridiculous amounts of success immediately until they run in the NFC Championship game, and then right back into a ridiculously successful run. Here's Kyle Shanahan talking about CMC.
Ooh. Trying to get me in trouble with those two guys. That's the only reason I wouldn't overly comment on either one of them, because I don't want them to cancel each other out. But if any non-quarterback's going to get an MVP, I don't get how Christian McCaffrey can't. I mean, he's amazing in what he's done all year. If it's going to a quarterback, then I don't have to talk about Christian. I can talk about our quarterback. And I'm still, if his numbers is all you see, then I think that solves it up. But if you watch the film, then it makes it even stronger, which to me is the most important thing.
Love a head coach openly campaigning for his players, and obviously they have a very tight-knit group over there. Christian McCaffrey is a freak show, but I think he falls into the same conversation that Brock Purdy does. It's like so much talent over there. Yep. You kind of get lost in the sauce, but he's been the focal point since he got there, AJ.
Yeah, he's been doing everything for them, and when the guy can stay healthy, which he pretty much has during his time there.
They got every wide receiver, even their superstar wide receivers are willing to block downfield. You almost become a victim of good culture. And it's like, it's a wild chatter piece. It's a wild conversation. But whenever you think about Christian McCaffrey, Coach Pagano, why is he different than everybody else? Is it because it's the perfect situation for a freak athlete, and that's why maybe he doesn't get as much chatter about potential MVP conversation?
No, it's when you go into a game and you say you put the game records up. He's first and foremost. Every coach says, okay, they put him up. This is where it starts. Even though they have Debo.
Hold on. To your point there, Michael Lombardi said last Tuesday, he said, if we have to prepare for you on Tuesday, you're an MVP candidate is what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Which is Christian McCaffrey. Go ahead.
Exactly right. And he's 100%. Because even though the quarterback's playing like he's playing, damn good player, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo. Yeah, this guy, because he out of the backfield, jet sweeps, split him out, play him as a slot, play him out wide by himself, put a linebacker. You can't. He's a mismatch. So who are you going to put on him? You're going to can't stop him when they're just running the ball, hand it to him, and then you put him out in space, linebacker, safety. You got to double him. You got to double him on third down. If it's 3rd and 2 to 6. You have to start with him and double. And all you other guys, hey, good luck.
Chuck Pagano had high praise for Christian McCaffrey, and I felt like he made a strong argument for Christian McCaffrey to take that MVP spot over Brock Purdy. And so that's ultimately the point that I was trying to make, even though I still think Tyreek should be in the front runner for this year's MVP.
I think that non-quarterbacks deserve more recognition. They really do. We saw when Tyreek was banged up last Monday night and the impact when Tyreek's not on the field. You can see it. You can feel it. Tyreek is one of the best players. He deserves consideration. Christian McCaffrey is one of the best players. He deserves consideration. And I got no problem with that. I think the only thing that I was alluding to is people want to discredit Brock Purdy so quickly because of everyone that's around them. I think Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy both deserve the right to be an MVP. And quite frankly, I'm going to stick with this. Between Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and Lamar Jackson, and Brock and Lamar have to play each other. If any of those quarterbacks run the table, one of those quarterbacks is going to win the award, especially with Tyreek a little bit banged up. And Christian McCaffrey, even though he's having a great year, he's going to have to do something even crazier to overpass one of those quarterbacks. You might not like that, but that is the reality, that one of those three quarterbacks to me is going to win the award. And I can see Zach is just staring at me.
Will Christian McCaffrey win the MVP? No. But that does not mean, I think that's the point me and Brad are making, is they won't give the award to a Christian McCaffrey or a Tyreek Hill, but they should, because neither Brock Purdy is not as deserving as Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill. And for all the 49ers fans out there who are going to say I'm a hater for that, that does not mean I think Brock Purdy is a bad quarterback.
No.
He is very good. He is a top 5 MVP candidate. He should not be above Christian McCaffrey. I don't know how I was seen as a 49ers hater by saying their running back should be MVP, but that's another story. So yeah, should Christian McCaffrey win MVP over Brock Purdy? Yes, I think he is more valuable. Will Brock Purdy receive more votes and have way better of a chance of winning it over Christian McCaffrey? Without a doubt. But that's because it's a quarterback award.
What you said, Rip, with these guys running the table, I like Lamar's odds right now a lot. And that's not to get in good graces with the Ravens fans right now. That is because
good graces.
The upcoming schedule that they have coming up. The guy just let a comeback against the Rams, and whether you want to say one thing or another about the Rams record and that they were 6-6, this or that, he led a comeback drive to take the lead. Then the Rams, of course, went down and kicked the game-tying field goal, and then Tylan Wallace came through and had that big-time punt return for the touchdown to walk it off in overtime. But 3rd and 17, Lamar to find Zay Flowers once, and then Lamar to find Zay Flowers twice, 2-point conversion. That was a big, crucial drive, and he stepped up in such a big way there. And like we've said before, the Ravens have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL, with that game included, with the Rams, and then you got the Jags, you got the 49ers on the schedule, the Dolphins, and then you finish with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if Lamar Jackson can rattle off, I saw Houston say a couple of Jackson 5s, and superstar Lamar is right back in the lead for MVP. I don't think he needs Jackson 5s to get in the lead for MVP. I think if he has a couple of really good, solid games, he doesn't turn the ball over, he throws for 2 to 3 touchdowns, gets it done with his legs as well, and puts his team in a position to win, the people who vote on this award are going to see that. They're going to see what Lamar Jackson is capable of. Now, he's not my front runner right now. It's still a guy like Tyreek Hill, because you saw what happened when you took Tyreek Hill off the field and how valuable he is to that offense. Even if he's not at 100%, he's going out there, he's willing to make plays. In the second half, he had a couple big catches. So Tyreek Hill right now, if he stays healthy and if he can pass 2,000 yards, should be the MVP. But like you guys said, this is a quarterback's award. I have no problem with Brock Purdy being up there. But to Zach's point, I do agree that Christian McCaffrey is the most valuable player on that team at this point in time. And that is not Niner Nation. We're not hating on Brock Purdy right now.
Rocco is such a Niners
Zach
hater.
Might be.
He
Zach
hates
is a known,
the 49ers.
Zach is
That's
a known
Steelers
Brock
fan.
Purdy hater. So listen, Zach Bollinger on Twitter. Send him all your hate. Send him everything you got. Come at him, because he's the biggest Brock Purdy hater out there.
Calling him out. We're revealing everything about
it is.
ourselves.
You know what's
right
super funny though?
right now.
You know what's super funny is, in my friend group back in college, like, I'm the biggest Brock Purdy defender. So for me to be like seen as a Brock Purdy like hater on this show is like, I have to play both sides now. Because in one group, I like him too much, because I was saying he's like, you know, he can take them to a Super Bowl, and everyone's like, he's a fraud. Then when I say the top 5 MVP,
here's my
final
final thoughts on this, and then we can move on. For me personally, if you take Christian McCaffrey away from that team, it is a stark different team. Like they're going to start. They're going to be the three losses in a row type team that we saw earlier this season. If you take Brock Purdy away, they're not going to do as well. But I think that they're still way more manageable without Brock Purdy than they will be without Christian McCaffrey. And so that's the final point that I'll make.